Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is the old practice of sealing envelopes with wax. Sounds like kind of a funny random subject, but it's relevant and current actually, and I'm going to hopefully tie those things together in this video. Why did people do that? Why did people have emblems, family emblems, or business or organization emblems with heavy wax seals? This was a huge thing for many, many years, hundreds of years, thousands maybe. And we don't so much see this anymore because we have other things that do that job. What is that job? Encryption, right? Or at least accountability, so that you can have a clue as to who it actually came from. Sometimes it's very important to know that you got a message from a particular person, the person advertised in the message. It can mean life and death. It can mean wars or peace. It can mean so many things, depending on the content of the message, whether it's been modified, and whether or not it's from the person it says. These are super important things. So wax seals, what do? Well, it's a pretty ingenious way to detect if something has been modified. Either the seal has been broken, they don't have the unique stamp as the sender usually. That's why they had these ornate, heavy stamps made. While it's possible to forge it, it's difficult. It's a very difficult thing to make an exact copy of a big, heavy metal ornate stamp. However, you can also tell if an envelope has been modified or, like I said, the seal. And if it hasn't been, and it's usually just difficult enough so that people don't bother to try, because what an undertaking that would be. So it was a pretty easy and safe way to make sure that people didn't mess with your messages, so that you could be sure the information was accurate and from who you thought. Now, today we have something different. We have encryption, like I mentioned. We've got lots of libraries, digital libraries, and programs and tools, and actual hardware level technology designed supposedly to do the same thing, to secure a channel in very much the same way as a wax seal would or has in the past. This is called cryptography, and there's a kind of a big problem and opportunity with digital cryptography, and that is you're putting your trust in a third party at that point, the maker of the technology, right? This is different. This is a new feature of security, where before you had a physical stamp that you could use and rely on, and so did your recipient on the other end. Now you have to trust the network. You have to trust that the designers of, say, OpenVPN, if you've heard of that software, which is very much not open, in the same vein as OpenAI is not open, it's a kind of a tightly run organization that requires background checks and very proper employment screening and all that stuff. It's very difficult to work officially for OpenVPN, for good reason, because it's used all over the internet with in ISPs, in cellular technology, in home networks and businesses. OpenVPN and OpenSSL is, I'm sorry, I might have mispronounced that. OpenSSH, one of those encryption technologies has the, so I had to refresh my memory. OpenSSH and OpenSSL exist. They're both similar technologies based on encryption, like I was thinking. But in any case, these all have a central technology that they rely on. And it is, I'm going to go on record saying that it is backdoored. It is quite thoroughly backdoored. That is, there's a man in the middle. When you send your new type of wax seal over a digital network, there is a person checking it out. And it's actually become more important that you use that technology for them than for you. It is so that they can be sure that it's only them who's reading in, and they can pin you to it. We call these people cyber security, law enforcement officers online, corporate managers, corporate moderators, and I believe that it's not widely known or appreciated that digital encryption is serving the purpose right now of giving a small group of people exclusive access to what is advertised as secure communication. I will stand by this statement, and I actually have evidence. I know enough about networking. I was an IT administrator for many years, and I know exactly what I'm talking about here. And I'm a software developer, and I've dug into OpenVPN software. So you can ask me all the questions you want, and I know what I'm talking about. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. If the only wax seals we have, so to speak, are compromised, you can imagine what chaos might ensue by thinking you're talking to someone and it's actually a third party, some random person, or if your message is being changed or modified or not even sent or redirected. I mean, they can do all that stuff. Anyway, that's just one of the many problems going on right now. I would suggest we abandon cryptography, because you can go back to how things used to be, where information was allowed to flow. That is the HTTP address instead of the HTTPS. Just get rid of that whole layer. Depower those people. Take away their exclusive access to your own private emails and whatnot, because those are your emails. And if they can see them, you might as well just let everyone see them. Better than just them, trust me. So anyway, OpenVPN is not your friend. I'm just going to call them right out, and I will stand by that too. If you work for them, I would get a new job if I were you. Good luck. Have a nice day. Reach out with comments or questions to whiteheartrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.